Hey guys, this is Joseph Lucero, and today we're going to talk about the deadlift, but more importantly, we're going to talk about the conventional deadlift and the sumo deadlift, and which stance makes the most sense for you. So when people start lifting weights and they find their way towards the deadlift, there's one big decision that they have to make. Are they going to lift conventional with their feet underneath their hips, their arms long, or are they going to perform the deadlift in the sumo position with their feet wider, toes outward, and lifting within a little bit more of a hinged position? Which one's going to make the most sense for the lifter and how they execute it correctly? Now, people go back and forth. Is conventional the right way to do it? Is sumo cheating? Should we take away sumo? Well, if you think about it, these techniques are not just built to change range of motion or make things easier or harder. They're also built because we're all built differently. We all have different body types. So for me to lift in one way doesn't mean someone else has to lift the same way as well. Think about it like this. Not a lot of people talk about a wide stance squat or a narrow stance squat. It doesn't seem as controversial as it does for the deadlift. But all types of squatters do things differently as well. You know, we have people who squat with their toes forward, toes out, feet wider, feet narrow. The sumo and conventional deadlift is the same argument. What is the most advantageous position for me to lift the most amount of weight possible and to be safe? Because for me, one of the struggles I have with deadlifting is I have short arms. I bench press let me just start over. I bench press really strong, but because I have those short arms that help me bench, it makes my deadlift struggle. So I have to think, what is the best stance going to be for me? Is it conventional or is it sumo? Now, let's start off with me real quick, not because I'm trying to put the spotlight on me, but I want to make this topic relatable. So I deadlift conventional. I actually started off sumo, and I thought it made the most sense for me, but the more I did deadlifting, I started to figure out conventional made the most sense for me, and here's the reason why. So when I started lifting, I was in a traditional sport. I was in football, I was in track. So when I played those sports, your feet were always underneath your hips. So people who come from a traditional sports background, football, basketball, baseball, hockey, anything else, you know, they're always playing with their feet underneath their hips, so their sports coach is probably going to have them lift from this position as well. And when I would work with athletes at the college level, I did strength and conditioning for a while, I would never really advocate for a sumo stance type of lift because they're never going to have that in their sport. You know, that's only primarily going to happen in powerlifting and other unique situations. So I think anyone who comes from a traditional background is probably going to advocate for a conventional styled deadlift just because they're used to their feet under their hips. Another reason why someone would conventional deadlift, like myself, is I have a really strong back. Now, when people talk about the deadlift, they say, hey, if you deadlift correctly, you're not going to use your back. That's a lie. You're going to always use your back. But how we use our back is what makes the difference. And I think for me, because I have a strong back, I can help keep my spine have the least amount of flexion possible so that I have good posture to deliver the lift and to be successful. In addition to having a strong back, conventional lifters probably want to have strong glutes and strong hamstrings as well to deliver and execute a great deadlift. So again, for conventional deadlifters, it seems like people with a traditional background do really well, and people who have strong back, glutes, and hamstrings do really well. And another option, so a third option for people to do conventional deadlift is for people who have long arms. Because here's the thing, if my arms were even longer, that means that's a shorter amount of distance I have to grab the bar, which means I'll be taller and have better execution for better upright mechanics. Now, what about the sumo style deadlift? Who's that going to make the most sense for? Well, anyone who's a little bit more quad dominant and wants a little bit more leg drive is probably going to take the sumo stance deadlift. Now I know there's leg drive with conventional, but what happens with the sumo is that people tend to be really tall when they sumo deadlift. So when that happens, they get to extend their hips and knees a lot more, and it seems like it's more quad dominant and adductor dominant. So the inner thigh muscle sees a lot of action within the sumo style deadlift. So people who want to have more upright posture or maybe have a bad back could explore the sumo deadlift to be something for them as a stance. Now, another type of population might be people with not just long arms, but long legs. Because here's the thing, if I have really long legs and I have to come down to the bar, the longer legs I have means my hips go further and further back, which means my upper back and my posture starts to go down, 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 and down. But if I widen my legs out and I can sit into my hips, now I'm more upright. So my long legs don't seem like it's a disadvantage to my lift anymore. Now it's helping me have an advantage to my lift. So sumo stance deadlifters typically are the ones who want a little bit more leg drive, adductor help, maybe have long legs and long arms as well. And for people who are trying to avoid low back pain, because from the sumo stance, they can be in a more upright position. So when it comes to the deadlift stance and which one makes the most sense for you, you need to think about this. Do you have long arms, short arms, a strong back? Have you had a back injury before? Do you have strong quads? Do you have strong adductors, glutes, hamstrings? Where do you fit in the categories of deadlifting and which one makes the most sense for you? Now remember, conventional, people with a traditional background in sport, strong back, hamstrings, and hips, and then people who also have long arms, these all do very well with conventional. People who do well with sumo have strong quads or adductors. They might have had a back injury before. They want to be in a taller position because you can sit back more in the sumo. Or people who have long legs and long arms tend to do really well with the sumo stance deadlift. So hopefully this makes the most sense for you. Hopefully you found some truths to this video. Neither is better nor worse. It just has to make sense for your body type and how you want to execute the movement to be successful. Again, my name is Joseph Lucero. I hope you enjoyed the video and we can catch you next time.